Are you officially done studying for your exam?
I have a whole new respect for people who decide to go back to school later in life.
Hey, what's up, family? I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are Two Crazy Ketos.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome. Here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like recipe videos and we do product reviews. We talk about various keto topics, and every Monday we go live on Keto Beyond the Couch because life exists beyond the couch.
You can find us on different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're going to find all of our different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way, every single time I'm having a whiskey coffee, you'll be alerted to it. It's like a whiskey-flavored Nespresso.
I haven't had any of those. Is it any good?
It's really good. You want to take a try?
No, I've just had this. It's going to...
It's going to affect it.
It's going to affect it. So.
It's good. It's really good. Except for I like it better as an iced coffee than I do as a hot coffee.
So today is day 1 of my instructor evaluation for scuba diving.
Today is the day.
Today's the day I'm really worried about.
Today is the day that I try to keep the household as calm as humanly possible because Joe is very nervous.
I'm super, super nervous today.
I can feel it.
So I'm becoming a dive instructor, and people have asked why. It's because I can.
Yeah.
And to see if I can, because I'm going to be 53 years old in a couple of weeks. And 10 years ago, I didn't think I was going to live to see 50.
Right.
So the thought of becoming a dive instructor at the age of 53, to me, it is a huge accomplishment. I learned to dive in 1991. And, even when I learned to dive, I was on crutches, and it was very different back then, and it was just the thought of being underwater was cool. But to think that 30 years later I could take it this far after being out of the industry for so long, to me, I think is a huge accomplishment. And it's a testimony to what eating the proper human diet can do to you.
I like that a side effect of the way we live now allows us to pursue new things. And I get really excited to see you get excited about trying something new. I think that it has added an element of adventure to our relationship, right? I think that it's been a good side effect for us to have new pursuits and new interests.
Yeah.
You think about our life was pretty boring before keto, not just because we felt sick, but I don't think we had a lot of hope for new adventure. So
right.
It sort of settled into, very boring sedentary activities. So it's really nice to feel like we're adventurous now.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not like I'm going to quit YouTube to become a full-time dive instructor. It's more of, can I? It would be cool to be able to teach people to dive occasionally, kind of like a side job, part-time thing, help out the shop, free dives, which I think is a great reason.
Let's be honest.
To become a dive master or dive instructor.
It's all about
but
the free
honestly,
dives.
a lot of it started off with because I love diving. Rachel enjoys it, but is super nervous. Once she gets down there, she's great, but it's getting her down there. And if I am more on the professional level, I feel like it helps me to help her.
It builds trust, and it allows you to have the information you need to explain stuff. Because we all learn differently. You're definitely a hands-on learner. I like to have more of the book knowledge behind it, the science behind it. And I do think that some of the questions that you have been studying for have definitely been kind of lofty and heady, and
they're weird.
I'm not sure that they are practical, but it sounds like something you would use to explain something to me.
So listen, today is the written exam. Tomorrow is in water, and then oral presentations. Today is what I'm really worried about is because of the types of questions that could potentially be on the exam. You have to get a 90 to pass.
That is
and there's
crazy.
100 questions.
I thought 70% was a
No, you need
passing
a 90 to pass.
grade.
And like, listen, if all the questions were just about diving, like Boyle's Law, or like, why do you have to blow bubbles?
Right.
Like, or, like what happens like with your buoyancy as you go up? Like I can answer all of that, but there's potentially a question that's like, why should you ask students to buy new gear? And the answer, based on the 4 possible given answers,
continue the hobby?
You would think it's because you're more comfortable in your own gear, because you're more apt to dive. No,
right.
The correct answer for the test is because if you don't, they won't.
Okay. If you don't tell them.
If I don't ask them to buy gear, they won't buy gear.
Okay. So, but that is the answer they're looking for.
That is the answer that they're looking for. Whereas in my mind, the answer is because you're more apt to dive if you own your own gear, because you're more familiar with your own gear, which makes it safer, because when your gear has been serviced, because you're taking care of it. Like all of that.
It's nice that you have an answer, but there is obviously a correct answer as far as they're concerned.
And so those are the kind of questions that I worry about. Like, for example, there's this question here. Which learning domain includes a learning activity that requires a student to describe the effects of pressure change on air spaces in the body? And it's like psychomotor learning domain, cognitive, affective, or no answer is correct.
No answer is correct.
No,
D.
the answer is actually like cognitive.
Okay.
I know, like, yes, you need to know how pressure affects you. But why do I need to know which learning style that is? Because you need to know it no matter, like, it's more of like when you get into questions on like mask clearing, like you have to know how to clear your mask underwater. Why does it matter? Why do I need to know which learning style that falls under? Because you have to learn it no matter what.
2 trains leave a station at 5:00.
Right. So those are the questions I'm worried about. Trick questions.
You did, though, find a really cool app for studying.
So, listen, I'm old, okay? I grew up, there was no internet when I was in college. Like, you just had AOL and that stuff. Our college, I don't know, what did you have in college? Our college had, like, it was a college network, but everything resided on that. There was no internet. So, you would have encyclopedia, or you can access things within the college on their computer. You couldn't even dial into it. You had to go to the library.
Remember encyclopedias?
So that's what we had. And I look at what kids today have for studying is amazing.
Amazing.
Right? So I found this app called Quizlet. If you have kids or grandkids, I highly recommend. I don't know how ethical this is.
But you can make your own quiz.
It is amazing. But the idea behind Quizlet is people put study things on here. Now, a lot of what's on here is the actual exams. So you get, for example, a college student takes an exam, and then they post the exam on here, and then people use it to study.
I mean, I still have to take the actual test.
One of the questions when you actually sign up is, are you a teacher? And I'm wondering, like, I almost want to create another account to say yes to see what does it do. Does it boot you out? Because, like, in here is, for example, this person who put up the SSI ITC final exam questions. There's 475 terms in here. Now, there are only 2 exams, and a lot of them are, the question going to be the same. But what they've basically done is amassed 475 possible questions that could be on the exam. And they all come out of the manual, and they put it together. But it's really cool because there's like flashcards, learning, testing. You can tell it, do you just want it as true false? You can say, hey, I want it A, B, C, or D, like multiple choice, and just like, I guess, and then flip it over to see if I'm right. And they also have it where you can, like, they pose the question, and then you have to type out the correct answer.
Do you
to
have
help you
to
learn.
pay?
You can do it for free, and then like for like something like $3 or something like that, you can have it where it keeps all of your records and everything else. But I'm finding it has been an amazing study tool.
Nice.
And again, because it's not just for diving, but it's like everything. They say you can create notes and have it read things and flashcards. Like, it's perfect for you.
Yeah, I love flashcards.
But, you know, it has been a really, really good tool. But I'm super, super nervous about today. Like, I am not even eating until we get, like, after the exam. I am leaning heavily on this. We don't make any money from this. This is the True Endurance. This is the pre-workout.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Really, really, really helps me focus. You know, like you get like super hyper focused. So what I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to keep studying. I have to leave for the exam somewhere around, well, the exam starts at 3:30, but I want to get there early to kind of go through my gear because he's going to like make sure all of your gear's got the right tags and it's new and all of that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, I just got to pass today. So do I look like a scuba diver?
You look nothing like a scuba diver. You look super fancy and gorgeous, though.
They said we have to dress to impress for like first meeting like the instructor evaluator, and today we have to take the written exam and also go over things like the diver diamond and stuff like that. So I dress to impress.
Are you Body by Beef, Butter, Bacon, and Eggs? Because I feel like I have not seen that shirt on you in a bit.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I've been able to wear this shirt like comfortably.
You don't even have a compression undergarment.
Nope. It's like all the loose skin is just like hanging more now. So
there's nothing in it though.
I'm gonna go and take this exam and I'm gonna pass.
Yes, you are.
And after we're done with the exam, it's gonna be a late night because they're gonna give us like the list of all of the skills and everything that we have to teach and demonstrate tomorrow, and then lectures that we have to give. So me and the other two guys are going to stay at the shop late and just like prepare everything.
But I like the fact that you have prepared for even like late night eating, because when you're studying and you're nervous about something, you could make some really bad eating choices, but you've packed a little dinner for yourself.
Yeah, so the two kids, they're kids because one's like 22 and one's 26, that are going through the course with me. They're like, we're going to order pizza. I'm like, yeah, no, I'll bring something else. So here's what I brought to eat. I have some Egg Life wraps that have some Swiss cheese, some turkey, and some salami. And then I also have a keto brick.
Well, happy Saturday, everybody. Joe is at his dive examination, day 2. Amen. So yesterday, he had the written portion of his dive master exam, really dive instructor exam, because that's what he's trying to do. He's already a dive master, so like he's gone as far as he can go recreationally diving with himself, and he's a dive guide, so he can guide people, but he cannot yet certify other people, like basically put them through a training program and allow them to get certified as a scuba diver.
So this is kind of the highest step.
Right, so this is what he is going through this weekend. And so yesterday we were so thankful he passed the written portion, and then today he has a presentation to give, and then he also has to do like a practical in the water, instruction. So we're praying for him. We have high hopes that he is going to pass with flying colors. I know that this is a passion for him, and I'm very proud at the fact that there's 3 guys going through this program, and the other 2 are half Joe's age.
Yes.
And not only is he able to keep up with them as far as swimming wise when they have swim tests and stuff like that, but he's actually surpassing them with speed and agility, which I'm just so proud of him.
Well, another thing too is, for myself, not knocking young people, but at my age, I really want somebody that couldn't be my grandchild.
Oh, I can see. So whereas you may think like, well, he could be young and,
no,
more chipper, you actually want somebody that seems
somebody
seasoned.
that feels seasoned, and somebody that you feel like you can relate to, and will, I think, oftentimes you understand a little bit older person. They're not going to be as fast or as quick. They may not be able to understand you as quickly, because a lot of times my grandsons are talking about stuff and I'm like, I have no clue what you're talking about. And so then they have to kind of backtrack and say, Well, what I mean is, and I think Joe has that ability.
Yeah.
And will be a blessing to people because he's very thorough.
I think that if you have managed to survive into your 50s, you're already thinking like safety wise, right? I think differently about safety now than I do, 20 years ago. So,
well, and he's enjoying it. He does it recreationally to start with, and he's able to do it because he is keto and strong. But also being able to pass that knowledge on to somebody, that's kind of a big deal.
It is, because we are definitely teachers at heart.
Yes.
I think that that's something that brings us all a lot of joy. And so he's looking forward to being able to help people become a scuba diver for themselves. So while he is away, the mice will play.
Yes.
No. The mice will prepare for Thanksgiving because this is the last weekend while we're taping this before the main event of food and family, which is Thanksgiving next Thursday. And we are a be prepared family. We do trial runs of even the turkey.
Yes.
Right? Like, so how many turkeys have you bought?
Well, I bought 3 or 4.
And so we like to make them and just make sure and eat on them. I mean, we love it. It's a very high protein, inexpensive.
Now is the time to buy them. And if you have a freezer, buy us several and stock up because they are very reasonably priced. And it's good meat. And you've got white meat for the people that like it, and then you've got the dark meat for the rest of us that really enjoy that moistness.
So you are team dark meat.
Yes.
I am definitely team white meat. Let us know in the comments down below.
Yeah, that would be an interesting.
What team are you on? What do you like to have the most of when it comes to the turkey? I am looking forward to turkey, but we're also going to be having a brisket. We actually dropped that off at my sister-in-law Becky's house this morning. That is going to be going on her pit boss.
Yes.
So looking forward to that.
It's way ahead of my pay grade. I couldn't do it, so I'm very excited that she's willing to do it. I'll do a turkey.
Yeah.
But no.
And she is, I've got to say, this is something that only since she's gone keto, I think that she's really embraced just a love of smoking meat and enjoying it. So it's always nice when you develop a new skill that you can help contribute to the family enjoyment.
And she's good at it too.
Yeah, she really is. So I'm looking forward to that brisket. And so today we're going to be trying out some recipes, experimenting in the kitchen, and seeing if there are some other side dishes that we can add to our family table for next Thursday. And the number one thing that I wanted to tackle this year was an alternative to our traditional green bean casserole.
Yeah, that's a must-have.
Green bean casserole is a must-have, but we are looking to have a green bean casserole to check that box, but not utilize like the cream of mushroom soup and those fried onions and all of the added carbs that may make us feel wonky. Because the nice thing about Thanksgiving, since we have, minimized our carbs, is we're alert from them. Do you remember Thanksgiving before
Everybody
keto?
Just passed out.
Literally passed out.
And you felt, I did, because I spent several days cooking, and then everybody ate, and then that was the end of that. There was no fellowship. There was no fun time. It was everybody was passed out on a couch somewhere. So I like us being able to enjoy our food. And I think a lot of times, too, for myself, I'm putting more thought into what I'm cooking.
And when we were grocery shopping, we were looking at different labels in the same type of product. So like we're going to be releasing a recipe coming up that requires a certain type of sauce. I'll keep it a secret, so you'll look forward to that video. But different brands was all the difference in the world.
Again, when you said this is not a recipe, this is not a keto house, this is an ingredient house.
Right.
And I have learned, even as old as I am, old dog, new tricks, that the ingredients do matter.
They really do.
And you don't realize how much wonkiness is in what you've been using all along. You just automatically grab it off the shelf. You don't read it. And now it's like there's so much GMO and manufactured and everything else that it's in very tiny print.
Right. Well, and so here you are, like, traditional Southern woman in her 70s, a great grandmother now. And the worry when you are sort of like the maternal head of the household is, will everybody still enjoy a Thanksgiving dinner if we don't have all of the sugar and copious amounts of carbs? Like, will you still have that fun time of fellowship without it? And I'm going to just ask you, like, do you find that it's still, you're still capable of having family time without sugar?
Yes, yeah. And like I said, you have to be more intentional. That's the biggest thing that I find. But, you know, I've changed a lot of things. It used to be that the table was set with the good dishes that were for the holiday and, you know, done way ahead of time and everything else. And now it's like I've been converted to paper plates. So if I can change that from blessed china into chinette paper plates, then I can change other things too. I'm not so stuck in my ways, and finding alternatives and finding new things. And again, just reading the labels of what I've used all along has made a world of difference for me.
Well, and for us, we still want Thanksgiving dinner to be delicious. We want it to be amazing. And the way that we try out new recipes is to do what we're doing now. We're doing a little bit of prep.
Right.
So we are trying out the recipe, making sure that it's something that is
delicious.
Exactly. Gonna be good. And here's the great thing. A lot of times you don't want to be eating on the old sugary garbage recipes until Thanksgiving, right? Because you wanted one 24-hour period of debauchery.
Right.
But even if this is just a delicious recipe and not like on the bar of Thanksgiving table recipe, we can eat it today because nothing about what we're making is going to undermine our keto journey.
That's important. And that you try it out and see how it works. And if somebody says, wow, that's really good, then you add it. And if somebody says, I don't think I want that for this holiday, that's fine. Then I'll save it for a later day. This isn't the last time I'm not planning this to be my last meal. So
that's right.
I hope you're planning on having a holiday festive time together. And that was the biggest thing that was so important to my mom, was that we cooked together on Thanksgiving. Christmas is busy and there's so much going on, but Thanksgiving was our time together. And this, to me, is such a blessing that you're trying to make things that will become part of your tradition, that you're passing on to your children and to your grandchildren, that you're sharing that family time together, but it's not going to make them sick.
Yes.
So that's a big deal. That's
a
very big deal.
I think we should get in the kitchen and get this thing started.
I'm ready.
Okay, so I have my lovely assistant, Vanna White, here, and she's going to tell us what kind of ingredients we need for this green bean casserole we're going to make today. So first up, you're going to need some frozen cauliflower. This is 2 bags of frozen cauliflower florets. The next thing you're going to need is a can of green beans. So we've drained a can of green beans. We're going to use all them green beans. Next up is going to be a cup of mayonnaise, which we never shy away from. I absolutely love mayonnaise. Now this is avocado oil mayonnaise from Chosen Foods, but you can make your own. I would totally recommend using Joe's recipe for avocado oil mayonnaise. Then we've got 2 sticks of salted butter. Does anybody use unsalted, Mom?
No.
I don't think so. So 2 sticks of salted butter. Next up is going to be 1/4 of a small onion minced up. This is probably the smallest amount of onion in any recipe that we previously made for Thanksgiving, right?
Right.
I mean, usually it was an entire Vidalia onion to make anything, probably in the Jell-O as well. Next up is going to be bacon crumbles. This is 1 cup of bacon crumbles. Now you can fry up your own, or you can cheat like I did and buy a big bag from Costco that are already pre-made. It's super easy and delicious. And then last up is going to be a 1/2 cup of cheddar cheese and a 1/2 cup of mozzarella cheese. So we steamed up the cauliflower florets and we've added the green beans. You don't need to heat those up. We added on top of that the onions. I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle in the bacon all over it. We're gonna mix it so I can just dump it actually. All right, so we're gonna spread around all the bacon, and now we are going to add the butter. Hello, 2 sticks of butter. And then to that, I am going to add the mayonnaise, and then I'm gonna stir it all together. Okay, so here's how it looks. It's very ooey and gooey, wet with mayonnaise and butter. And now we are going to sprinkle the different cheeses on top. You're going to set your oven for 300 degrees, and you are going to cook it for 20 minutes until the cheese is ooey and gooey and melty. Okay, yummy yum. This looks really, really good coming out of the oven, nice and hot. But as much as it is a beautiful dish, let's see if it's a tasty one. Okay, so now we see if it's not just a cute recipe, but if it's a delicious recipe. So let's take a bite. We're gonna try I want a little bit of green beans, some cheese, the bacon, cauliflower, the whole thing. Joe's not here, but we still have to dink it. Dink.
Right, dink.
Mmm. Wow.
That almost tastes like, and I can't believe it.
Wow. The mayonnaise is plain mushroom gravy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The bacon is making me less sad that there's not fried onions on top of this, because you've got like the smokiness of the bacon and the crunch. I'm never upset with cheese.
Mm-mm.
That is
It is really good.
really, really good.
It almost reminds me of, which I can't believe I'm saying this, you're right, I have to edit it out. It almost tastes like really good potato salad.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, okay, I thought.
No, I would definitely serve this nice and piping hot.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. But you know, you always had to do that with green bean casserole too, because
yeah.
the onions would get soggy and nasty. There's definitely an onion flavor in every bite of this, but man, it's really, really good.
Surprisingly good.
So I'm actually really pleased with this recipe and think that as easy as it was, this is something that, whether or not we have it at Thanksgiving, is definitely something that can be in our weekly rotation, because it's frozen food and green beans. This seems as easy as it was when you're like, I'm in a rush. I came home from work and realized I don't have a lot thought out, so maybe I'm gonna make some hamburger patties, like the frozen ones.
Right.
But I still wanna have like a side dish for my family.
No, and it's very creamy. Very creamy. It's good. I'd recommend it.
So the next thing that we're gonna tackle is a casserole, because I think that, I mean, this is a casserole, but this feels like a side dish casserole. We're looking for more of an entree casserole. Like, let's say you get invited to a Friendsgiving.
Oh yeah, right.
And you want to bring something that's nice and hearty, not a side dish. A casserole is usually a go-to thing, right? So I thought, since we have a turkey, check. We have beef as far as a brisket goes, check. That maybe we would turn our attention to ham for a little bit, because we don't normally make a big ham.
No, not a big ham
for Thanksgiving, but I know that is very popular. And so we're gonna make a chicken cordon bleu casserole using canned chicken and ham lunch meat. Okay, so mommy got a little cold and added a jacket on. So now we're gonna make this chicken cordon bleu casserole, and here's what you're gonna need. First thing you're gonna need is 1 can This is 12.5 ounces of chunk chicken breast. It's gonna be drained and shredded. Next up, you're gonna need a half a cup of Joe's yogurt. We use this stuff for anything. You could substitute with sour cream if you don't have any yogurt, but I think the yogurt makes it taste so much better. So next up is gonna be 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Don't kid yourself, this woman is going to add whatever's residual to a cup of coffee later. Next up is 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Do you have any Grey Poupon or Butt of Chaos? Next up is some Redmond real salt. We've got to have this in everything, right? Black pepper is next. Then you're going to need 8 ounces of sliced ham chopped. So I just found the very cleanest ham lunch meat I could find and chopped it all up, 8 ounces of it. Next is 4 ounces of cream cheese, and you're gonna wanna cut them into pieces. After that, you need 8 ounces of Joe's very favorite sliced Swiss cheese. I know, not my favorite, but definitely Joe's. He's gonna love this. So then after that is 1 cup of pork rind crumbs. And I just whipped up a batch of pork rinds. We make our pork rinds in the air fryer with those little pork rind chips. I actually just loaded Mom up with some more of those. We love them. They're super easy, right? How many do you usually make in a batch? Just like 4 or 5? Or?
Yeah, I don't put more than 4 or 5 in the, and they blow up really nice and you can enjoy them.
Yeah. So after that, you need 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning, dried Italian seasoning. This stuff is potent. And then lastly, you're going to need 8 tablespoons of butter. Cut them into pieces. Now we are going to preheat our oven to 375 degrees. We're going to grab a 9 by 13 inch baking dish and then spray it with a little bit of avocado oil spray and grab a bowl. Okay, so I grabbed a large bowl, and in this bowl is the chicken, yogurt, the heavy cream, the mustard, a half a teaspoon of Redmond real salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Now I'm gonna mix all of this together and then transfer it over to the prepared baking dish, and I'm gonna try my best to spread it out all evenly. So here is the baking dish. I put the chicken mixture down in the bottom of it, and I have topped it with the ham that I chopped up and the cream cheese pieces. Now I'm going to top this with the slices of Swiss cheese. Here's what it looks like with the Swiss cheese on top of everything. And now I'm going to turn my attention to the pork rind crumble. In this bowl, I have the pork rind crumbs, Italian seasoning. I have a half a teaspoon of Redmond real salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. I'm gonna mix all of this together and then put the mixture on top of the Swiss cheese in my casserole dish and top it with the pieces of butter. Okay, so we are ready to put this guy in the oven, and he's looking handsome already. With these fresh pork rind crumbs, I think this is really gonna put it over the top with the Italian seasoning all mixed in, because I took a little taste of the pork rind crumbs, I'm not gonna lie, and it was delicious. So we're gonna put this into the oven, 375 degrees for 30 minutes. And then I think what I'm gonna do is put it under the broiler for another 2 minutes, because I really want it nice and crunchy on the top. But let's put it in the oven and see what happens. Oh my goodness gracious. This smells so delicious. I wish we had smell-o-vision, because this stuff smells incredible. It looks really beautiful. I love seeing it all sizzly and bubbly, but let's plate it and see how it tastes. Okay, so I am pretty impressed with presentation. This looks so stinking good, but let's test it and see if it tastes as good as it looks. I will say the pork rinds stayed crunchy. I have a feeling that that has something to do with the freshness of the pork rind crumbs.
We forgot to dink it. Wow. That's good.
Oh my gosh. So this is definitely coming to Thanksgiving. That is crazy.
Well, I hate to say it, but with the pork rinds on there, you could almost substitute and call this a dressing.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh, it's a much, wait, we can drink it now if you want. A much more, yes, meatier dressing. It definitely has, especially with the Italian seasoning, like cornbread stuffing sort of like consistency to it. Oh, that is smart. I love that.
Yeah.
Very rich, super buttery, not surprisingly.
Cheese.
The cheese is where it is at. I mean,
no, I would definitely. People would be surprised if there's meat in there, but you'd initially think, oh, you brought dressing. I thought you were keto and you couldn't have dressing.
Seriously, it is canned chicken and it is lunch meat ham. Mm-hmm. I mean, we ain't trying to be fancy, but this
Very
tastes
good.
really, really flipping good. Wow.
And it looks pretty on the table.
Mm-hmm. So,
good job.
I know, right? Good job, young lady. So I really enjoyed the green bean casserole. Mm-hmm. Probably would be more of a side dish for a week, like a weeknight meal. Definitely something I would go to during the holiday season because it's a little bit fancier than, just tossing together a quick side salad. If you have guests come over, it's a little bit nicer than that. But this is where it's at. Like, I would absolutely make this and take this to a church potluck.
Yeah.
Or if somebody's invited you over to their home because...
Well, and nobody's going to know it's keto.
No one is going to... They're not going to be...
It's got cheese and meat and...
They're not expecting it. And so, and it's not trying to be turkey. It's not trying to, be the beef. It's just flipping good.
Well, and you're not saying it's dressing, but that's what I'm taking from it.
Only somebody like my son Caleb does not like dressing. Good. He thinks it's like wet bread and like, why do we have this?
Oh.
Which I'm fine with, But with that said, I think he would like this too. This is delicious.
Plus, you did it.
We did it.
I'm very proud of you.
Thanks for helping today, Mom.
Good job.
Well, we just finished up here at the dive shop. After we finished up doing our in-water evaluations at the lake, the other guys went home because they live close, and I just came back here to the shop because I live 30 minutes away from the lake, 30 minutes away from the shop, and felt that it just wasn't worth it when we had to be back at the shop within an hour and a half to 2 hours anyway. So I came back to the shop to make sure I had everything all set and finished and make sure the computer was working. And I had a little bit of lunch. I had some egg life wraps just like yesterday, along with some turkey and salami rolled up inside of it. And then I also had some porking good pork rinds and some seltzer water. And we just finished up our oral presentations where we had to present on different topics. My topic was the benefits of diving using less nitrogen. And that's actually a topic that I absolutely love talking about. So did very, very well on that. I only got 1 point off. And he said that's because he doesn't give anybody a perfect score. So super excited about that. And guess what? I passed. I became an SSI dive instructor. And for me, this is a huge accomplishment. I mean, it is a huge accomplishment for anybody. I mean, it's a lot of work to become a dive instructor. And there's a lot of responsibilities when you are instructing somebody on how to safely be a scuba diver. But this means a lot to me for another reason. Because 6 years ago, I didn't think I was going to see the age of 50. I really did not think that my health was in a place where I was going to live very long. I mean, Rachel and I had always talked about that I would probably die early, that I would definitely be in a wheelchair, which is where I was headed by the time I was 50. And I really didn't think that I was going to live that long because my health was just horrible. And to think that now at the age of 53, I mean, I'll be 53 in a month, I'm not able to just walk and, not have to use painkillers. And it's not that I'm just not having to use a mobility scooter to get around Disney World, but that I've gained my health back so much that I'm able to be a dive instructor. And I went through this course with two other kids. One of them is 22. The other one is 26. And to know that I was able to not just keep up with them, but in many things, like exceed them, like do very, very well even though I'm twice their age. That to me means more than being a dive instructor. It's the fact that I was able to accomplish something that I didn't think I'd be alive to do just 6 years ago. And this means so much to me. So I'm going to go home and let Rachel know that I passed, and tell her that, like, hey, some of the stress that we've had in our life for the last couple of weeks, we can put that into the background, and we can, like, take a little bit of time to enjoy each other, to celebrate. And then we're going to do some camping, family time. Peyton's birthday's coming up. John Paul's birthday's coming up. So super, super excited. So I'm going to go home and tell Rachel.
So, how did you do?
I passed.
Yay!
I passed. And you know, I didn't just pass. I got, like, really, really, really good grades. So super excited about that.
I'm super excited that we are done past this
Now I'm ready to collapse.
obstacle that we had. We've been working hard toward it, and it has taken up a lot of mental and emotional bandwidth in the Stauffer household.
It's funny because, like, I'm tired, but I think I'm more mentally tired than it was very mentally draining. And I was just sharing on the vlog before I came home that for me, again, this isn't like, okay, my new career.
Right.
This was more of, can I do it? Can I do it? You know, it's, do I need to do it? No. And, you know, it was the fact that at my age, I could do this. That, like, okay, my life's not over. I mean, we were just on the live stream and talking about that. They say that, you know, basically life goes to 40 and then it goes downhill. Everything is downhill. We start reversing everything at the age of 40. And to think that at 53, I'm doing something that 20-year-olds are just getting started.
I was going to say, and you're just getting started in it. And I think that that is something that blesses all of us, because whatever it is that you're interested in and you're wondering to yourself, like, is it too late? No, it doesn't have to be too late to pursue something brand new. You're healthier, you're feeling better than ever before, and you want it. I think that you've been wanting to be able to push yourself in, like, a physical arena.
Well, so again, we talk about, like, so I'm doing something at my age that a lot of people would start doing in their 20s. And again, it was, can I do it? For me, this was more of this, it's an accomplishment because, like, it was a challenge. It's like me building the 3D printer. Can I do it? Like, can I do it? But when we were in the dive shop, we were waiting for him to grade exams, and like we were going one at a time with our presentations. And when we were doing that, I opened up my SSI app I was looking for some kind of documentation to show him. And there's, like, news, like, in the news for diving. And there is a news story for a 60-year-old man who just set a record for free diving to 100 meters.
What?
So, listen, I'm not a metric person, and I'm not going to try to trigger everybody's computer or home thing and say the word and ask a question. So, rough way to do this, multiply by 3. So, it's actually a little bit more than that. But this gentleman, at the age of 60, free dove 300 feet. 300 feet on a single breath.
Wow.
Like, all the way to the bottom, like 60 years old.
Wow, that's incredible.
Right? So our life's not over when we're over 40. What's the difference? Our health. Mm-hmm. And if we can take our health, I mean, I take a lady diving who got certified in her 70s.
I love that.
Right? So it's, if we can get our health in order and we're on the right track with keto, we can do anything. I can keep diving when I'm 90 years old. The guy who was my instructor evaluator today is 67 years old.
I love that.
And he's keeping up with everybody.
So let's keep hopeful for longevity.
What are you doing?
I am making sure that I don't run out of meat thins this week.
You eat a lot of those.
It is the one thing that I will absolutely prep and Joe never has to worry about.
What are you making?
So we have a Friendsgiving tomorrow for our youth group, and I am responsible for bringing one of the turkeys. So I am currently bringing water to a boil so that I can make a brining liquid for my fluid, or for my turkey. But then when it is up to an oil, I'm going to use the Redmond real salt brining package to brine my turkey, and then we're going to vacuum seal it overnight and then smoke it tomorrow morning.
So why do we brine a turkey?
You brine it because it helps let the meat be more tender. It adds more flavor, and it makes it so that your turkey's not dry, because nobody wants a dry turkey when you cut into it on Thanksgiving Day.
So what is like the primary ingredient in a brine?
Salt. A lot of salt. Salt and then other spices if you want.
You know, it does have sugar in it. Now it says 0 carbs per serving, but a serving is a quarter of a teaspoon.
Yes.
So you're going to add a little bit of sugar into the liquid, but it's honestly not a lot.
It's not going to do anything for you to notice it.
And then, you know, it's not going to spike glucose or anything like that. If you go to Costco or to BJ's or buy a rotisserie chicken anywhere, you will see there's dextrose in the ingredients, and that's because they put the dextrose in the brine when they make all of the chickens.
Yeah. Okay, so the water is boiling. So now I'm able to open this. I also do want to smell it. Oh my gosh. It smells really good. You smell it?
It smells good. Like black pepper, spices, smoke.
Then you just pour it in the water. Now this is going to fill the house. And then, according to the instructions, you just kind of simmer it and then let the salt and the sugar dissolve. And then once it's done, you remove it from the heat. So you still got to keep it on a boil. But I would make sure that you have something to stir it, like this, so that nothing gets burned on the bottom of the pot. Okay, so now it's been boiling for a couple of minutes. So now you got to take it out, because this is usually where now you would let it cool and add it to another bin. But we're going to add it to our vacuum seal pot, which is right here.
Oh, look at that. Now you are going to let that cool before you put the turkey in there, right? Otherwise you're going to start cooking the turkey.
Yes, but also...
You're going to add cold water?
Yes. You add another 3 quarts of cold water. Alright, so the brine has cooled a little bit, so it is now safe for the turkey to put the turkey inside of it. So all you got to do now is just simply take your turkey.
How big is your turkey?
This is a 17-pound turkey.
I think you have too much water.
Yeah. So we're gonna safely take this over to the sink and dump some of it out because I have too much.
You're losing that precious brine though.
I know. But I gotta make sure that this can actually vacuum seal. Ooh, that's really heavy. Don't worry, I will add more salt to counteract that. This turkey might be a little too big for our machine over here. Well,
you just have to have it down. So if you have it down, we can put the lid on and then we can vacuum seal it.
so we had to dump some more water out because I didn't think about how big the turkey was. So you might not, if you have a 17-pound turkey, you might want to add a little bit less water. Maybe just add like an extra quart of water, or maybe an extra quart and a half, not an extra 3, because that overflowed. But once you have it, you put the lid on, bring it up to the machine, and you pump it. And so this is going to, if you look inside there,
It's going to draw all the liquid up, and then as soon as it starts to go up the tube, what you're going to do is turn it off, or as soon as the pump turns off, and then that will seal it. There you go. Now, the lid is sealed onto there. And the purpose of vacuum sealing is it's going to pull all the air out and it's going to draw all of that brine into the turkey.
Yes.
We're missing a light.
We are. I brought it into the front room to do something, and then, now we have no light. Let there be light, but there's no light if I'm the person in charge.
What a week, or last couple of weeks.
I'm tired, and I didn't take the test, but just like being worried for you and concerned that you were going to be able to realize your goal actually wore me out.
You've done like a whole bunch of stuff though. You made recipes with your mom.
I did.
mean, it's been a hectic few days, and we just kind of took a couple of days off. It's Tuesday now.
Right.
So I took my test on Saturday, on Friday and Saturday, and it's Tuesday now. But we wanted to wait to wrap up the vlog until I got my certificate.
It is official.
So
You
I've
are
got
officially
my
in.
dive guide instructor certificate, my open water diver instructor certificate, and then I've got a whole bunch of cards. Are you a card collector? I'm not really a card collector, but these are kind of cool.
Is it like a Boy Scout patch? Basically, you're amassing.
I had like all the Boy Scout patches because I was an Eagle Scout. I was in the Order of the Arrow.
So now
and
you've moved on to this.
I had so many. I had 2 sashes. I had so many merit badges.
You could sachet.
Because believe it or not, even though I consider myself kind of lazy, and I definitely was not an overachiever when I was a child like you were.
You're focused, though, on what you enjoy.
Yes, and I went to Boy Scout camp. I went to Onteora Scout Reservation in Livingston Manor every summer, and I was actually a counselor there for a couple of years when I was in high school. And I just wanted like all the merit badges. I wanted to be like one of the youngest Eagle Scouts, which I was. I just wanted to do it all.
Collect the whole set.
And so yeah, I was a collector. I am still now a collector. Like if I see an outfit that I like a shirt, I want it in every color. If like I have a 3D printer, I want more than one. And drones, I want more than one. I'm definitely a collector. I've never been into cards though, but like to me, these are accomplishments.
They're absolutely accomplishments.
The funny part is they're kind of worthless because if you're going to go just fun diving,
yeah,
like when you show up at the boat, you never want to show them you're an instructor.
Because they're...
You want to give them like the lowest possible card you need for that dive. Like if you're just going to reef, just tell them like, I'm an open water diver. Don't tell them that you're an instructor because then they stick you with somebody who's not very experienced.
They're going to be like, can you help me out?
Yeah. So I've got instructor for diver stress and rescue.
I need that.
You're going to take that. Instructor for open water. Instructor for enriched air nitrox.
Instructor sounds like organic right now.
Instructor for being a dive guide, to like teach how to be a dive guide. Instructor for marine ecology.
So you can teach at the high school.
Yep. Well, that's actually, yeah, like kids like Boy Scouts and stuff, they want to learn about marine stuff. I can teach them that.
It.
Instructor for perfect buoyancy. I'm also an assistant instructor. And then I have a few more that I don't have cards for. Underwater explorers. Those are for like little kids, like under 10 years old. Like you can introduce them to diving and stuff like that.
But this is the real deal for me. The fact that it's like overall dive guide, instructor, like ready to start, taking on clients for this, to not just be like the best that you can be as a personal diver, but help other people to develop a love for this sport.
Right. So Anthony,
what are you doing over there?
Anthony made his turkey, and we're just able to get into the kitchen now.
Yeah.
And I've discovered, so one of the things I liked as kids and also as an adult pre-keto was those little cheese crackers.
Oh yeah.
Like remember the little things where there's like 2 pieces of like styrofoam cheese cracker with peanut butter.
We took them everywhere.
And stuff in there. I've created like a keto one.
Okay. With the meat thins.
Mm-hmm. So this is meat thins.
All right.
With a very thin layer of cream cheese. Because like Thanksgiving's coming. So I'm going to allow myself some cream cheese. And then...
That's cranberry sauce.
I put cranberry sauce.
I'm gonna...
No. Because if I let you try this, you're going to like eat them all.
Oh. But they're crumbly like those crackers too.
Yeah, but you're going to just like... You're going to eat all the meat then. You're going to eat all the cranberry sauce.
Hey, I've been a very supportive partner in all this.
There you go.
I deserve to eat all the meat thins and all of the cream cheese.
Now, I know by the time you guys see this vlog, like Thanksgiving will have happened, but we make this for Christmas too.
Oh my gosh. Make it.
And if you like cranberries...
It's delicious. If you like jelly, if you just miss jelly, this is a fantastic jelly replacement without you.
Yeah.
Some of those like sugar-free jellies that they sell at like Walmart, it's garbage. Like I mean, you guys have seen, if you've been with our channel for a while, you've seen us pursue a decent jelly. Now I will say Fox Hills Kitchens,
Their marmalade's really good.
has an awesome marmalade. But when it comes to like everyday jelly, it is really challenging to find a sugar-free jelly. And I say abandon the search and just go head on into the cranberry sauce because it works really well.
So the thing is, though, cranberries, a lot of times you can't get them all year long.
Right. But you can freeze them.
They freeze really well. So usually at this time of the year, we go buy like 10 bags of cranberries.
I got them like 2 bags for $4.
Yeah. I buy them and then I stick them in the freezer. And then when you want cranberry sauce, you make it. And we use allulose. And allulose has got a lot of really good benefits. I really enjoy allulose. And then if you want to up the sweetness, you just put a few drops of liquid stevia or liquid sucralose. You know what would be really good with this?
What?
Take out the cream cheese. Or leave the cream cheese. I probably shouldn't tell you this. Peanut butter.
Oh, I know. Don't worry. It's already in here. But seriously, because the meat is...
It's like a sandwich.
It's got a back note. It's not like it's going to be so beefy it's going to overtake your peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But this would make the perfect peanut butter and jelly sandwich like a cracker type of form.
Yeah. Now, because the meat thins are very delicate, what you want to do is soften the cream cheese. So I stuck it in the microwave, just like 1 ounce.
Yeah.
I stuck it in the microwave for like 15 seconds. Just soften it, and then you can spread it. And then do the same thing with peanut butter. Like, did you ever I still like this. Forget peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter and cream cheese.
Oh, always, yeah.
Right? And then when you put grape jelly on top of it.
Awful. You ruined
put,
it.
like peanut butter, cream cheese, and jelly. So I used to make sandwiches. You wonder why I was fat, right? I would make sandwiches of like, you put a slice of bread and then put peanut butter and some jelly. Then you put another slice of bread and you put cream cheese and some jelly. And then you put another slice. So it was like a 3-slice peanut butter, jelly, and cream cheese sandwich. You can do that with meat thins and avoid the bread.
We're very careful with bread and actually like talking about bread. Because again, if you're like, oh, I'm just going to make myself a peanut butter sandwich and just make it keto. How many pieces of bread did you just talk about?
3. I would usually have more than 1.
And that's
why I was fat.
So that would be 6 slices of bread to have 2 of your nonsense sandwiches.
And then you added in the fact that I was eating peanut butter, cream cheese, and sugared jelly.
Right. So it goes fast, which is why I think it's good to be careful with it.
But with the meat thins, I can have that stuff.
Yeah.
And then you can put cranberry sauce, and it's a good way for me to eat peanut butter and nut butter without just taking a spoon in a jar and go hiding in a closet.
Right. I'll tell you what else is good.
I've never done that.
Because I am avoiding peanut butter, to be honest. I still have not had nut butter since before Ketopalooza. Like, I made that commitment, even before Ketopalooza, and certainly through Triple B and E that helped me to stay on track. But what would also be good between there is like a little bit of like shredded turkey itself, so that you have the cream cheese, the sourness, and the
turkey
sweetness.
Would keep it together.
The turkey, and you could use turkey lunch meat as well, because it's going to lay flat.
So, remember about a month ago, my closet collapsed and I had to rebuild my closet?
I do.
So I found something in my closet that I put in there like 2 years ago, and I was hiding for myself, and I forgot about. And they were the F-bomb macadamia nut butters.
So you weren't just hiding them from you. You were also hiding them from me. You did not want to share them, clearly.
I mean, I bought them like 2 years ago or more.
So they're safe, because I don't want to eat something that old.
Nut butter never goes bad. They're really good.
Okay.
And yeah, I have occasionally had one, because they're not that old, but like take some of that macadamia nut. I mean, F-bomb, like they made the greatest stuff. Like their meat sticks were really good, but that nut butter, and I love the name, like F-bomb.
Droppinfbomb.com.
Droppinfbomb.com. So that was really good. So yeah, this is really good. I'm super excited for Thanksgiving. Not so much for eating, but just for like hanging out with family.
Time.
Right?
Family time is the best.
And then we've got Peyton's birthday. Right?
She's going to be 1.
She's going to be 1.
This year has gone by so fast.
And then, yeah, we're doing some camping trips. Super excited. Like, it's time though to just kind of like relax a little bit. Like, I don't need to dive into a bunch more things. Finish my 3D printer.
Your long-suffering wife would really appreciate that.
Well, if you like seeing videos like this, take a look at some of the videos we have linked right over there. Also, make sure you take a look at most recent videos I'm gonna put right over here.
But whether you head this way or you head this way, don't forget to head this way. Subscribe to our channel and click the little bell icon, and that way every single time Joe shares his things with me, you'll be alerted to it.
Till next time, bye.